Hello, beautiful people. I hope that you had a great holidays and got some much deserved rest. And I hope that you start working on your New Year's resolutions, because oftentimes that's what people do right after the holidays. They start working on their New Year's resolutions. So this video is titled, "What are you scared of? Why not go for law enforcement?" And so just before I start teaching my courses, I start preparing for what's about to come, new students, new material in criminal justice. And so this is a great time to start sharing with you some personal thoughts that I think you'll be able to use if you're really serious about getting a career in law enforcement. So I don't know if you've been following my previous videos, but in some of them I mentioned how I started out as a police explorer, riding out with various officers, trying to get a feel for who I was a good fit with. And some officers were mega lazy. Other officers hated the job and wished they could find some other job. But eventually I found a person, that became my mentor and became the foundation who I later, used his skills to be an effective police officer on patrol, in my career decisions, etc. So I asked you earlier in this video, what are you afraid of? And we need to discuss this, because some of you are living your lives through YouTube, but you're not taking the risks and you're not making the sacrifices, and you're not putting action into what you're about to become. You can watch a video on YouTube and get a lot of the same feelings that you get from the people that are actually going through the experience, through the trail, or discussing makeup for some of you, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So my advice, this is a guy who started at a very young age, became a police officer, became a background investigator, etc., and now work as a college professor. My advice to you is that you need to find a mirror in your house, right? Somewhere in your house, and you need to start looking at that mirror, and you need to ask yourself the hard questions. Because if you do nothing, right, in 1 year and 2 years and 3, 5 years, nothing will change. And so you need to start putting your plan into action. It's perfectly normal to be scared and to be afraid and to be concerned. Obviously, we are human beings, and genetically we're made to be afraid of that dinosaur that's going to be hunting us down. And even though there's no more dinosaurs, there's still that fear that if you get into law enforcement, something bad could happen. But majority of you drive, and I've mentioned this before and I'm going to repeat it again. Go on the Cal OSHA website, Cal OSHA, right? Go on the on the website and read about industrial accidents. And why am I telling you this? Because construction workers are killed very often. They die of injuries. They get injured, falling off a second-story building. They're digging a hole. All the dirt falls on them. They didn't follow the safety protocol. So when you look at the number of deaths in these type of construction jobs compared to law enforcement, it will kind of enlighten you to realize that the majority of the time, peace officers are safe, right? Majority of the time. Now, are there risks? Yes. And each time, an officer unfortunately gets gunned down, very unfortunate, you need to look into what happened. Even if you're a current peace officer watching my channel, or you intend to become a peace officer, you need to be looking at were there mistakes made, because that's how you learn and you prevent those mistakes from happening. When I worked as a police officer, every time a deputy sheriff, highway patrol, police officer, etc., was killed or injured, severely injured in an incident, it became my my duty, right, to actually learn from that situation, so that I wouldn't repeat the same situation, right? And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to first realize that it's okay to be concerned. Don't get me wrong, it's completely okay to be concerned about your safety, but what are you afraid of? What are you afraid? And don't get me wrong, I mean, there's also, besides the fear of safety, there's the fear of failing. And I did plenty of that when I was applying for various law enforcement positions. And it wasn't easy, right? But once the job became real, once I was hired full-time and I started earning a full-time salary, and I started building my law enforcement retirement, and I had medical benefits, and I could afford a nice car, and, right? Then it all fell in place. And so, again, a lot of you are wasting a lot of valuable time watching stuff on YouTube that is not helping your future life, your future career. You need to start putting a plan in place and also action towards that plan. In one of my introduction classes, I created an assignment called Career Assignment, where students go out there and research their desired careers. And there's a whole array of people in my classes that want to do jobs in teaching, welding, car mechanics, law enforcement, etc., right? And so they are able to go out there and research what are the skills and the type of personality needed for those types of jobs. And they also research how many jobs are out there in that career field. So will they easily get a job once they finish their college or career training? Are they going to be able to get hired? And so I urge you to start listening to some of my life advice. I urge you to start putting a plan in action and start applying to these law enforcement agencies, to state agencies, to government agencies, so that you have a steady paycheck. Crime is not going away anytime soon. Just watch any daily news and you'll see that it's happening. It's happening worldwide. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned crime pays, because I was trying to show you guys all the businesses that the courthouse, which processes all of the arrests and all the sentencing and all the trials, produces income for those types of businesses, right? And the same thing with you. You're trying to get a job. You need to find out, number one, are there jobs out there in your field? Do they pay well? Do they come with great benefits, job security, etc.? You don't hear very often about police officers getting laid off, but technology is changing with artificial intelligence, and you need to really be careful what field you're going into, because go online. Meta, who owns Facebook, last year laid off 12,000 people. Google laid off 10,000 plus people. Twitter, a bunch of people lost their job. The list goes on and on and on. These technology companies, which a lot of people believed would be a secure job, all of a sudden is not a secure job. So I want you to really listen, replay the video and listen to what I'm telling you, right? Find a career that you love, no doubt about it. My YouTube channel mainly focuses on law enforcement careers. Find a job that you love, right? If you just graduated high school, start taking some classes at your local community college in criminal justice to find out what type of area in law enforcement you would be a good fit. Start talking to your professors. Start reaching out to me with any other video ideas that you'd like me to make, right? And please subscribe to my channel, because it contains a tremendous amount of valuable information from the perspective of a police officer, former background investigator, very rare to find these days, and a current college professor who is trying to offer you the skills in my channel to get you hired and have a well-paying, secure future career that you're going to one day be able to retire from and have great retirement benefits. So I'll go ahead and cut the video short, trying to keep it under 10 minutes. My future video is coming up on new laws that are coming out in California that directly affect patrol officers, and specifically not being able to ask certain questions from individuals during those traffic stops. One of the courses I teach, we use the California Peace Officers Legal Source Book, And that is the main book that you will be using when you attend a California Police Academy. And so a lot of the topics for 2024, I will be discussing those topics as I'm discussing them in class. I'm going to start going on YouTube and offering you this information. Again, all of this is trying to build you into the future professional that you're going to try to become, and you will become if you're driven, if you're focused, and if you start pushing away all the freaking distractions that exist online and instead focus. So, few final words. When you start getting all these suggestions of videos, start clicking on those 3 dots and clicking not interested on those videos that are wasting your valuable time. Instead, start creating your profile on YouTube, watching videos that are going to build who you're going to become. I know you guys want to become independent. I know you want to become prosperous. You want to have a well-paying job, a well-paying career with job security, and so that you have a future great life. And so be looking forward to this channel. I'm going to also be putting out several new updates on CDCR. There's some major changes coming down with the State Corrections Agency that directly affect how a lot of you will either decide to apply or steer away from that agency. So thank you for listening. Please give me a thumbs up, like, and then subscribe to my channel, and or share it with someone out there who is trying to get valuable law enforcement advice to try to get into the law enforcement field. Thank you for listening. Be safe out there, and Happy New Year.